borderline special episode when he was getting drunk and then dude almost fell off the edge. And
he almost died. It's vintage of both these guys. Flair's fighting style is scumbag. You know, he'll pull Sherry in front of him to block a couple of shots.
Then he hears gunshots right after that. So now Eddie's in a shootout all of a sudden. He finds the guy and the guy shoots him.
Happened in the 90s.
What would you say your favorite Family Matters episode is?
The one that comes to mind, and it's probably more so because we've talked about it on the show and not because it's like a very special episode or anything, is the one where he's getting bullied, I think, and there's a towel fight in the bathroom, Steve. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. That was from one of our early episodes.
Yeah. That one stands out just because of the martial arts. It's kind of early. It's like vintage era Urkel and not kind of this older Urkel that we're getting in some of these later seasons.
For me, man, like I have a lot of favorites, but like the one that stands out the most, and it's something that has to be Urkel centric, is the Urkel dance. That's like the quintessential Urkel episode. That was a borderline special episode when he was getting drunk and then dude almost fell off the edge. And
he almost died, Steve. Motherfucker was dangling. Who saved him?
It was on Rachel.
Rachel, yeah, hell yeah.
She got out there and did like a tightrope kind of thing. Drinking's bad. We'll never drink.
Did they ever get into the druggings, Steve? There was gang violence, I believe. We covered that.
There was that, but yeah, there in the later episode, I think it was this season, where Max was like running off packs for her boyfriend, unbeknownst to her. And this is when Eddie first started as a cop, and he busts Max. It's like, what? I was just dropping off like some chocolates to his friend or something.
This is my diet shit, Eddie. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Well, that is crazy though, dude. Eddie becomes a crooked cop because his chick's just running some fucking drugs. I like that. That's actually pretty dark for Family Matters.
Especially like late season shit. But we're going to be talking about a guy that took a hiatus from acting because he had to tend to his family, and that's Rick Moranis.
Legend. I think everybody loves Rick Moranis and would love more Rick Moranis. One of the few people that left acting for like an actual good reason, like a valid, cool reason, in my opinion, to take care of his wife, who I think had cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
His wife and kids.
But was in so many movies that we love. Part of the Ghostbusters franchise. I think they might have brought him back. He was in that funny movie from the 80s, Strange Brew. I always loved. Me and my buddy Hans used to watch that all the time.
Him and Dave Thomas.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just one of these funny guys, man. He's this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise. I mean, that first Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that was mind-blowing to me as a kid.
It did numbers.
That big-ass oatmeal cream pie that they fucking hang out on with the ant. And they're just facing all that delicious oatmeal cream pie stuff. As a fat kid in the 90s, I was like, shrink me down, please.
He was also in that 90s movie with Steve Martin, My Blue Heaven.
Also, the SCTV stuff, very legendary. You know, sort of that Canadian SNL vibe. A lot of legends on that. He was one of the main ones.
He was in Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor, classic. Little Shop of Horrors, also with Steve Martin.
Feed me.
Seymour. Can't forget about Spaceballs.
Yeah, man. Just those. You didn't even read off the ones I said yet, but just those, that's legendary.
I mean, for what it's worth, the Flintstones is burning rubble.
I like the first one. A lot of work on those, though. I wasn't a huge Flintstones fan anyway, but it was cool. I think they pulled it off.
Can't forget Little Giants.
Hitting it out of the park. And that's why, you know, gone but not forgotten, Rick Moranis. You know, I want more.
Did you ever see Big Bully with Tom Arnold?
Yeah. It's actually kind of scary a little bit, if I remember right. Like, it kind of gets intense. It's probably Tom Arnold's best, but then that's not saying a lot. You know what I mean? Other than his appearance in True Lies. He was in True Lies, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, man. Rick Moranis, dude. I just think we could use a little more of this energy. This like very it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just a great. It's not like annoying nerd. It's lovable nerd.
You can get behind this nerd, just like
Yeah.
Steve Urkel.
It's a perfect comparison.
Yeah,
Do you want to be around them all the time? No. But at the end of the day, awesome people can invent the fuck out of some shit.
facts.
I'm a dummy, Steve. I'm not going to invent something to shrink or blow something up. There's no inventions in me other than like a cool new way to roll a blunt or a joint, you know?
You can blow things up on Photoshop.
That's true. My nephews can do that. There's probably 10-year-olds can blow us both out of the water Photoshop wise. But yeah, Rick Moranis. I like that. That's a good tagline for him if he ever runs for some kind of office. The nerd you can get behind.
The nerds you
Pause.
can get behind. Bad dad joke alert. So, Matt, how did the cops catch the cross-dressing killer?
I don't know, Steve.
They received an androgynous tip.
That's good. Maybe I'm getting old, Steve, but that's good. That's a good dad joke.
It was good at being bad. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Tony Braxton tapes and your Kirby Puckett jerseys. He's American made. Can we see Hulk Hogan? We got Hulk Hogan at home.
Oh.
Well, today, my friend, we're talking all things July 17th in the 90s. Brother. Starting off in 1992, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid premieres. The Zelensky family is back. This time, hilarious disaster strikes when an experiment causes their new toddler son to grow many stories tall. Directed by Randall Kleiser, starring Rick Moranis, Marsha Strassman, Lloyd Bridges, Robert Oliveri, John Shea, and Kerry Russell.
Felicity, Steve. I forgot Felicity was in this.
Felicity.
Definitely a little 90s hottie I forgot about. We all loved it when they shrunk the kids, right?
Definitely.
Then they shrunk themselves, if I'm not mistaken. And now we're here. Rick Moranis' character, Wayne Zelensky, if I'm not mistaken. He's sold his technology to this kind of shady corporation, if I'm being honest with you, Steve. Very Wolf of Wall Street looking dude running the show. In the background, I think Father Guido Sarducci, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know who that other greasy guy is.
From SNL?
Yeah. So they have his tech, but he's not really respected, Steve. This guy has created inventions that, could change the world, to be honest. I'm not sure how they haven't gotten out to the point where, people are shrinking. It's like a technology you can buy at Walmart.
It's easy to overlook the meek.
True. He's just cool being an inventor. He's kind of like the successful version of the dad from Gremlins. He's got all these kind of like weird looking inventions, but his work, he's got this weird like helmet. He can take calls on. In a couple years, you're going to have a cordless phone, Wayne. So that's a little bit, it's like sort of Apple goggles, pre-Apple goggles, He's doing okay. His family's doing okay. His son's doing okay. Hot daughter that we remember from the first movie, she's going off to college, Steve. But now he's got a kid. He's got a little baby. I'm just going to state this as like my case as a lawyer right now, Steve. The Zelenskys as parents need to be investigated by some sort of child protective services, because even before we get to the lasering of the child, they've got him in some kind of almost like enclosure, like you'd put like a baby gorilla.
Or a dog.
It's a playpen. Okay. That looks like a prison cell for Magneto.
Well, we put a bowl in front of it every night.
It's going good, but it's not, because we see Wayne getting disrespected at work by Gordon Gekko Sr. I don't know what this guy's name is.
And at some point, Wayne is saying that the baby needs a nap. And then the mom's like, don't say the N-word around him.
Yeah. If you got the closed captions on when you're watching this movie and look up there, you're like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Because it just says, don't say the N word.
Yeah, what's
It's,
that all about?
it's strange.
I feel like it could make its own peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And even before it's made big, it's a pretty decent sized kid. You know, like this kid's gonna be an offensive lineman, I feel like. It's not Rick Moranis' genes.
How much does that kid weigh?
What is that? And I actually forgot something very important, not very important, but just something cool that this movie does that I think a lot of 90s like sort of comedies and kids movies did, where there's like an animated opening. It's like 3.5 minutes worth of animation, which was crazy. I liked it. It was fun. So we get basically to the point where Wayne's like sort of getting pushed out of this company that he's running. This baby's running him over constantly. His wife's on his ass. His son's just trying to get some sniz.
That's it.
You know, his son's just being a teenage kid, just wants to get some sniz, possibly Felicity. It's just kind of a mid lifestyle. And Wayne wants to improve this thing, this laser, because now they don't want to shrink stuff. They want to grow stuff. And it's not going well.
Yeah, but he had plans for like, marijuana plants and, tomatoes, things of that nature, not his own son.
Yeah. So he goes in, brings his kid in, his son, because his wife and daughter sort of go away for a little bit because his daughter's going to college. So the wife's gone. They bring the baby into this building. The security's just this old man who's just like, gee, Mr. Zelensky, what's this kid doing in this highly classified office building? He doesn't care, Steve. It's like the person at the front of the Walmart checking receipts. They just want to sit back down.
When the kid blows up, man, he's basically like Godzilla, King Kong even.
And it's a slow burn, though, because if he just grows a little bit. But I think what happens is when he gets close to electronics and electricity itself, that makes it grow bigger and bigger. So for a while, it's like, ooh, let's hide this very abnormally large 7-foot child. And then, that's the comedy. He's like a Godzilla-sized kid. They're chasing him. The company's trying to harpoon him with like some sort of like a trank dart.
Kill the baby.
Yeah, basically. And the Zelenskys are trying to like save the baby. The guy who owns the company assisting him, the old dude who was like the president of the company, it's just convoluted. What I will say about this movie without trying to explain the whole story is it's not as good as the first movie, but I watched it last night, Steve, and maybe it was the edible and the days worth of pot just like making my judgment bad, but I didn't hate it. I say to you, fun movie, short movie, which I love. The special effects have just aged horribly, but it's a Rick Moranis joint, so I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. And I'm giving Felicity a nice, I'd like to join her in that gigantic Oshkosh Bagosh pocket.
I mean, it does have Kerry Russell, so shout out to that. In 1994, WCW is airing Bash at the Beach 94 from Orlando Arena at Orlando, Florida. The tagline is Hulk's WCW debut. This is one of the many reasons why Vince beat y'all. I think it was King of the Ring that we covered last month. It was like the ultimate Father's Day gift. There's a little creativity to that. Here, it's just Hawk's going to be here. That's your tagline?
Got him!
Yeah, got him. He's here.
Look, we spent a lot of money getting this guy. We have nothing for marketing. So copy paste Hulk's first match and we're good. But that being said, Steve, a 1994 WCW joint, I'm mid on already if I'm coming in cold because I'm like, it could be good, it could be bad. There's a lot of ways it could go bad, basically. But I was pleasantly surprised by this.
It was decent for a mid-90s WCW ticket. And the commentating team, I can definitely get behind. Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Gene Okerlund. That's an all-star team.
Was Jesse the Body there for like a second too?
Jesse the Body was there. You could tell he did not want to be here. The beef with him and Hulk Hogan is very real. At some point, Tony Schiavone even asked Jesse the Body, so who do you think is going to win between Hogan and Flair? I already said Nature Boy Ric Flair. He's one of the few people not happy that Hogan is here.
How many more minutes do I got doing this goddamn shit? Bobby, give me a hit of that Coke.
And Heenan, he's not happy because that's his arch rival. Heenan and Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else is like, this is it. This is it. It's finally happening. We're in Orlando. Hulk's here. It's happening. They're joyous. And Bobby Heenan's like, yeah, I guess it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You fucking suck.
Don't talk to me about no Hogan. Fuck some Hogan.
And also, just to make this as trash as possible, though, in Orlando, Florida, the guy singing the Star Spangled Banner looks like he's on Love on the Spectrum with the American flag shirt. Toby Keith's like bastard son.
Darren Norwood. His shirt is very treasonous, by the way. And
Is it?
Yeah, it's like he told the barber, give me the Uncle Jesse from season 2. Best I can do is Marty Jannetty, 88.
That's all I got, son. I got one fucking move. That's it. I got a fastball. You just got it. Show Shaq Diesel one time. I'm good. But he's basically the guy presenting the champ with the belt at the end of the night.
This is Baby Shaq, too.
This is after his rookie season.
Yeah.
So early 20s, just still loving the Reebok pumps. Just everything's going good for Shaq right now, Steve.
With the sideburns. And Heenan's like, yeah, he's not that tall. I seen him without his shoes. That guy's actually 5'11".
Dude, Heenan is killing it this night. He's one of the reasons this is a great pay-per-view, to be honest.
For sure.
We do get also a recap, Steve, that's just kind of leading us up to how we got here, because I don't think Hogan was actually supposed to be the guy wrestling, but we see Sting beating Ric Flair with the fucking Scorpion Deathlock cinched in. I think this was like a previous Saturday match.
Yeah.
He's about to win the title, but Sensational Sherry comes in. Is this when she's in like reverse drag, Steve, where she looks like she's like a Columbo character or something?
To us, it's clear as day that it's Sensational Sherry, or Sensuous Sherry, as she's called at this point.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah. And then Hogan, he comes in there as usual to be the hero. He gave her atomic drops.
Right on the booty. But she's got a lot of meat on those cheeks, Steve, which I know you know.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know.
Ground
but what
shaking
Sensational Sherry does do at this point at some point, I don't remember exactly how we get here, but she goes full like Wolverine on Sting's face. She blinds him to the point where he can't wrestle anymore. Stinger, he's out.
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken as a kid because he's my hero. But luckily there's somebody, a true American, who can stand in here for Stinger, Steve.
He's American made.
I hate that song, Steve.
I hate it with a passion.
It's so bad compared to the original, and I know he can't get it. Vince was never gonna give that up.
Hell no, not the.
But that song, whoever did that killed that.
Rick Derringer, who I
when
think
it comes crashing down and our heads design.
Yeah,
Can you do that on karaoke, Steve? Because I want to do a duet of "I Am a Real American" sometime on karaoke. I feel like we'd kill that.
Crush it. You could smell it wafting in the air. It's about time for Hogan to make a change because he's still scorching hot because it's a big deal. He was the face of Vince's company and now he switched to the other side. So there's like an immediate pop for that, just that alone. But this is just a watered down version of Hogan, man. You know, he's slimmer. He doesn't have those muscles he had in the 80s. The music sucks. There's something different about his hair. I feel like maybe the barber messed up on the edges and he had to push it even further back. It's just a weird looking Hogan.
You know, I didn't really clock like that much of a visual difference, but you're right. It is like a mid Hogan. We've seen it all. We've seen him, you know, slam Andre the Giant. We've seen all these great moments in his career already. And now he, you know, to be honest with you, him wrestling Ric Flair, they make this big deal of it. And it is cool to see legends wrestle each other. But maybe that's why they went to NWO, or it was already in the plans. But yeah, it's just a little bit less.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like diet Hulk Hogan, you know?
And they were ingesting that diet Hogan for a solid year. And then eventually it was like Hulkamania, the luster's just fading away. So they chose the right time, I think, to make that switch. But Our first match, though, is Johnny B. Bad versus television champ Steven Regal with Sir William.
Yes. I feel like this is Johnny B. Bad, Mark Marrow. This is the height of him, period. Other than having Sable,
He
which
did
was
hit
like
that.
to me, the draw, that's not his talent. And he was just a psycho, like possessive guy. He was kind of getting like bitched out on TV at that point. But Johnny B. Bad, is it a Little Richard on steroids?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, that's what it is. But he looks the part. He's getting a pop. I was rooting for him in this. He's pulling it off, Steve.
Comes out with sparklers, glitter.
Glittered the whole shit up to the point it's getting on everybody. The whole Bobby Heenan's pissed off that they're just littering all over the place, which is a valid point.
This fruity shit
But-
off me.
Yeah, dude, he's not. He's just he's one of the Bobby Heenan at this point. This night is like when you're something bad happened to you and you want everybody else around you to be miserable. He just doesn't give a fuck about being happy at this. He's like, dude, this fucking sucks. Yeah, now there's all this glitter all over the place. I had a fucking sandwich here. Now I can't eat this.
I don't know where that confetti's been. And in the match, there's like a battle of reverses. It's like a versus of reverses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Steven Regal, Steve, he's a tactician. Everything's very specific, very planned out. And I do like that he just thinks everything's disgusting. He's always like,
With your American ways, don't touch me.
yeah.
Something that really bothered me is the steps. The steps in the middle of the apron. Like, who was the ad wizard who came up with this shit?
They kept fucking people up.
Yeah.
And I think they even mention it. The announcers mention are like, this shit is just like misplaced. It doesn't make sense.
I hate that. I know you're trying to be the antithesis of Vince, but this wasn't it.
I think basically it wasn't a great match, but there was some cool stuff. Johnny B. Bad, he does his thing, and it's almost like it's his match to lose. The end of it's super disappointing. There's like some like miscues and like the end thing where they like do a reversal roll up.
Yeah.
And then he rolls up on Steven Regal, so he reverses a reverse, but he basically is just like 69ing
Yeah.
to him, and it's just like slow and just not smooth. So I think both of these guys, this is great for them. I didn't hate this match that much, but the end was just like, I just watched the guy get his salad tossed for the championship. You know, it's like, that's thanks.
Yeah, very awkward reversal. And that's one of the things that would deter me from wanting to be a wrestler. There's a lot of toss salads. There's a lot of scrotum on your back, on your neck, on your ears.
On your face.
On
Steve,
your
imagine Earthquake doing that drop where he just sits on your face.
Hard
And
pass.
that's not a lady, just a grody, just scrotum, taint, the whole shebang bag.
I noticed that the Hogan impersonator was there. He was there at King of the Ring that we covered last year. And I told you I remember seeing this guy from a distance. Like, I thought it was like Hogan. He looks just like Hogan from a
He
distance.
looks like him, Steve. He does.
And I don't know if he followed Hogan around during this time, if he's that much of a stan, but that's the same guy. And they also introduced Antonio Inoki, Japanese legend, and they're trying to give him his propers. Freaking Regal comes back.
He never even left, Steve. He was taking his time, and he's like, hey, guys, this is fucked up. Like, this guy is just some washed up foreigner. I'm royalty. I've been knighted. I'm from the motherland, and you're sitting here giving props to this guy. He doesn't even wrestle anymore. This guy's a fucking bum. It goes in pretty hard, Steve, to be honest with you. A lot of racial shit, a lot of nationalist shit. He's an Englishman, Steve. I feel like if it's going to come from anyone, that's where you really expect the white racism to come from, the English.
They should have gave him that Elks Lodge plaque.
They're trying to. This is just fucking vintage 90s opinion from just an old white dude. But Antonio Inoki, to be honest with you, Steve, is in better shape than Steven Regal, even if he is retiring. I don't know how old this guy was, but he would fuck a lot of people up, Steve.
I mean, he was jacked, man, and he was ready for that action. Regal didn't want that. He's like, oh, no.
I have to go get a crumpet with my tea boy. What's his little waiter looking dude? Or his
Sir William.
William, come back and rub my joints with liniments.
This is the segment that has Tony and Jesse. He just has this look on his face like, man, fuck all this shit. Fuck Hogan. Fuck Bischoff for bringing in Hogan. I told you, I already want Ric Flair to win. Why would you even ask me? I hate Hogan.
All he's saying is like, yeah, like Hogan, that's fine. Go for it. Because I'm going to be sitting here laughing my dick off when Hogan's getting paraded around town with everybody calling him a loser because Ric Flair just bent him up like a piece of linguine. So get this fucking camera off of me so I can do a bump of cocaine, for God's sakes. Tony, do something terrible.
And I think this is the only segment we see Jesse. I think he just like,
That's why I was like confused because you mentioned the other people that are in it. And I was like, yeah, that's right. But I didn't remember Jesse the Body unless I had a stroke and just put him there for a second. So, yeah, clearly Jesse was there just there for the check.
pretty much.
You know, he just had to make an appearance. He left. He went to the Walt Disney World and got a couple of sodas.
Up next is Big Van Vader with a Harley Race versus the Guardian Angel, who looks like a bouncer at Studio 54. Like, I don't even know if he got clearance from the Guardian Angels to even have this moniker.
He just bought the shirt, Steve.
Oh,
That's all you need. If I had a white shirt that said Guardian Angel right now, Steve, I'd look like Guardian Angel.
That's not even a real Guardian Angel shirt. That's like the bruh man Whitty Hutton shirt.
Exactly. Well, he can't spell either, Steve. Cobb County don't got a good school system. That's a big boss man, Steve. Let's put some respect on his name here. This match, decent. Actually, it was more than decent. But one thing that I clocked that I have to bring up is that our Guardian Angel, Big Boss Man, whatever you want to call him, this guy is strong as an ox because he literally picked Vader up, held him, and body slammed him.
Which is crazy. Like,
And he's not like a guy that you look at and was like, he's huge or anything. Like, he's just kind of like a strong looking dude, like stout, but he picked, like, that's what, 500?
Boss Man is like a next level dad bod.
He looks like a cop that's been on the force and just has like a beer gut.
Just like grown man strength, man. And I will say in this match, you see two big guys throwing their weight around as well as throwing each other's weight around. I don't think Boss Man got the props he deserved in his lifetime for the work that he did as a big guy.
Yeah, this was like a good fat on fat match, honestly, because these guys have similar fighting styles too, where it's like barroom brawl style for the most part. Like, you know, Vader has his little punches.
Yeah.
Boss Man has his little like punch combination thing he does. And they even have a couple like Rocky moments where they're just rocking each other.
Yeah.
That I thought was cool too. Something I thought was kind of hilarious. It wasn't really great, but you know, Harley Race, who just looks like a used car salesman at this point.
Break his leg, Vader.
And he's heavily involved as a manager. He's trying to like psych out Guardian Angel or whatnot. But there's a couple times where he gets on the top rope, Steve.
Yeah, he gets involved, man.
And I don't want to bring this up because God forbid we find out he's younger than us.
Oh, hell
in this
no.
episode of the show. He's an old man, Steve, but he's taking some fucking straight drops.
Harley, he gives Vader a nightstick when the ref isn't looking. And
Yeah.
I don't even think he hit him.
Vader gets it because he's going to use it. And the ref's like kind of like, I think he's looking at Harley Race or something's like keeping him occupied. But then Guardian Angel takes it from him. And they're even like, oh, he's going to use it. Oh, he's not using it. He doesn't use it at all. But the ref turns around, sees the nightstick in his hand, and I think Vader's on the ground. So the ref is like, oh, you hit Vader, DQ. He got ripped off, Steve. But it's a Harley Race joint. He's going to pull a couple of strings. He's going to throw a couple of those blonde pubes on the table that he's got on his head.
I'm going to get us the win. That poodle perm, man, I just can't get over. But shout out to Harley Race. Up next, man, we do a recap of Dustin Rhodes and his feud with Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck. In one of the matches, I think it was the previous pay-per-view where Dustin Rhodes is just getting obliterated. I'm talking about Mick Foley gushing blood, man.
Yeah, there's some bad blood brewing between the Rhodes and the Funk, Steve. It's a very north versus south looking thing, but they're both from the south. This is two hillbilly families just going at it.
Apparently, no one in the locker room likes Dustin because he approaches Arn Anderson after getting jumped by Terry and Bunkhouse Bunk for a month. He's like, Arn, can you be my friend? You a grown ass man, Dustin Rhodes. This is why nobody likes you in the locker room. Can you be my friend, Arn Anderson, Mr. Four Horsemen, sir?
What's that? Why does it smell like skunk back here? God damn it, Dustin. Shut up. Arn's like, I don't know. Let me think about it.
I'll let you
And
know.
he comes back like the following week and is like, I'll come back. But if I come back, you get in the old AA. You're getting all of that. So if you're cool with old AA coming in and being your partner, you got it. Is Bunkhouse Buck a member of the Funk family, or is he just like a cousin?
He's a distant cousin.
Okay.
They fuck other cousins together. I noticed Arn Anderson's rocking those Matt G specs.
Dude, I'm telling you, in the promo, Steve, and I'm going to call this out. I'm going to bring this to reality. All black suit, tailored, gold chain with a cross. These kind of specs that I got on with the thinning hair and beard, I'm a shot of testosterone away from maybe getting close to this look of Arn Anderson. And as an older, getting close to mid 40s white dude, this is what I want to look like when I'm getting into my late 40s. Just a pimp ass AA Arn Anderson from 1994. This is it, Steve. This is my look. I already got the glasses.
It's something to aim for.
Are you going to bring up the Ron and Fez match?
Yeah, it was a dark match, and it's Molly McShane versus the Sassy Boys, and Jimmy Hart's the ref. Remember this like it was yesterday, Matt. God damn it. If Molly McShane loses to the Sassy Boys, I'm going to end this shit right now.
I'll kill myself. Not the Sassy Boys. Who are the Sassy Boys, Steve?
I have no fucking clue. It's just some guys they picked up from a domino shift or something. But Molly McShane, thankfully, she won, and it saved my life.
Yeah, dude. I know you called and said you were about to end it. You just wanted me to know, like, that you love me and that you love the show. And so I'm really glad that you didn't have to do that. Molly, thank you. Thank you for beating the Sassy Boys.
Appreciate you.
And also cool that Ron Bennington was there. He's very cool. Ron and Fez show was very funny. I think Fez is dead now, but radio legends in attendance, Steve.
Orlando radio, I'm guessing?
No, I think they were like national syndicated radio. Maybe they started in Orlando. Florida is kind of like the shock jock, like swimming pool. They bring you out to national audiences and stuff. But no, I mean, I think they're from New York, to be honest with you.
Okay. Like Bubba the cum sponge. And now we have the Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck with Colonel Massa Robert Paca and Ming versus Dustin Rhodes and Arn Anderson. Some shenanigans will be had.
Terry Funk's in rare form here. Very much just a bully, honestly, Steve. He's bullying little Dustin. He's getting up on the ropes while other people are wrestling and just talking shit at the beginning of the match, which I love. Hey, Dustin, when you were a little kid, me and your dad tag team Sapphire in the damn behind the scenes of a split the tax on a blood match.
Whoa. The match starts off with Arn Anderson as the legal man. And Terry Funk and Buck like, no, we want Dusty's boy. We want to beat his ass. So Arn Anderson tags Dustin in, and they get right to it. They waste no time. And Dustin, he's doing all the heavy lifting in this match because Arn is not tagged in at all for like the first, 15 minutes.
He's the vet. He's there for moral support more than anything else because, and as Dustin should, Steve, he's got to stick up for himself. He's been getting bullied by all these mean old men. He needs to fight for his family and for his own dignity. So he is one-man ganging this match for the most part, holding his own.
Yeah. He's holding it down.
Yeah,
And,
dude.
like, he's getting jumped. He's getting attacked from every angle. And the whole time, Arn's doing nothing.
Yeah, he's almost like just checking the time, maybe even like clocking a couple of ladies that he wants to bring back to El Casa del Arn later for a couple of nightcaps. But he's just sitting there, Steve. And at points, it's like Dustin's getting his ass whooped. But, at other points, Dustin's beating the shit out of these two guys. So, He's just sitting there kind of like minding his own business. But finally, Steve, Dustin finally tags the old wily veteran in. I'm thinking to my goddamn self, Arn's about to just unload on these two dudes. Pause. But
Whoa.
what does he do? DDT's the F out of Dustin fucking Rhodes, and just to the dismay of everybody except Bobby Heenan. Everyone's like, oh my God. I mean, he told straight up, and he says this after the match. I told you, you were getting the old double A. You're getting Mr. Duckett's double A. I don't give a shit. So I guess he got a better offer, Steve, but it's just another can of whoop ass and another just domination on Dustin Rhodes, who, until he became Goldust, I got to be honest, I had kind of the same opinion. I was like, shout out to a legendary family name, but I was never excited when Dustin Rhodes came out in his fucking cowboy boots, Steve. It's kind of boring.
I feel like anyone past the 1800s wearing cowboy boots is a tool, unless you're a woman. Like, women can make anything look hot, but yeah, like, were you going to wrangle up the Indians now? Like, what are you doing, John Wayne? It's 2020s. Like, even in the 1900s, like I said, anything past 1800s, and that wasn't enough. Even though Bunkhouse Buck and Terry Funk got the win, they still beat the shit. Especially with Arn Anderson, they jump on his head, they stomp on his feet, they stomp on his arms, his hands.
Eventually they got people coming out to break it up, but it's like, man, you guys could have come out a little bit quicker. Dustin took about 10 minutes of punishment here. Mean Gene's crying in the corner. He's waiting in the wings just to get an interview.
Arn Anderson gave him a tasty DDT, though. I will say that.
He's in the top 10. So yeah, it is a tasty DDT. And I like a nice double cross too. I like it when a guy, is the thing. And this is why NWO works so well, Steve.
Oh yeah, that's the ultimate double
You're
cross.
like, yes, dude. Because you want to see that. You want to see the guy just be a little fucking crazy sometimes. So Arn, he did it. The crowd's dismayed. Everybody's just like, how could he do this? Yeah. How could he just turn his back on him? And so Mean Gene meets the winners and Arn Anderson right there. And he's like, he basically pulls a Jay Leno and is like, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah. And Arn's just like, man, holla at us at the celebration party. I'll tell you then.
Yeah, call my agent. But I'm telling you, Steve, as soon as I saw the double A in that slick ass suit that I was talking about at the beginning of this,
yeah,
I knew. I was like, dude, he's looking too fucking slick. Something's cool is going to happen. And something cool did happen.
Yeah, you don't mix well with Dustin in those damn cowboy boots. Something's up. We got another legend showing up, man. We got Hank Aaron, Hammering Hank with Bobby and Tony.
Just for a second, just a nice hey, hi, how are you? From a fucking Hall of Famer, Steve. At this time, most home runs ever.
Most home runs. Still, I still, I mean, put an asterisk on something. I'm not even. Yeah, shout out to the other guy though. But they ask Hank, like, who do you think is going to win, Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan? Oh, I'm pulling for both of them. And then Bobby's like, man, you'll make a great politician someday.
Yeah, dude. But hell yeah, dude. I mean, that's huge. Hank Aaron, Steve?
Hammering Hank.
No slouch. Jesus. So then we go to Mean Gene talking to Rick backstage. I love that Rick gives props to Double A right away. It is like, woo!
Dude, he's like, I love this era of Ric Flair, man. I see we got Shaquille O'Neal. I see we got Hammering Hank, the legend. But all these people, they came to see me, the Nature Boy.
Woo! Sensual Sherry's there, Steve, and I know you love that. And I gotta say, this with the LOD little accent makeup, I'm digging this. I'm almost you're kind of selling me on it. She's another one of these ladies where I feel like she's gonna throw some blows in the bedroom where you're gonna have to really have a nice like shell defense while you're fucking, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, she looked like she liked to talk shit too. And the next match, man, we got Ricky Steamboat versus the U.S. champ, Stunning Steve Austin. Man,
with those locks, Steve, he still got it.
It's so surreal, man. I feel like I warped into some other multiverse.
It is bizarre, but also in this match especially, because I mean we're getting pretty close to him jumping ship. You can see those little like things, his punches, and just some of the attitude coming out a little bit. It's like he's got a toupee on or something. It's like he's been photoshopped. It doesn't make sense.
And this is the Steamboat that you remember and love, man. He actually comes out this time with the whole dragon get up and the tiki torches.
What a fucking ask for somebody to have to do on top of a full on wrestling match. Hey, just go out there and breathe fire for me real quick.
Yeah.
Fucking kidding me?
With this overextended costume on that it might burn if you're not careful with the tiki torch.
Yeah, that material is very flammable, Ricky. So if you could just like watch it, we're gonna need that for Undertaker. We're gonna spray paint that black in about 10 years and repurpose that. So don't just watch it. But he pulls it off, Steve. And Ricky Steamboat, it's a legend. But even as a kid, he didn't excite me that much. The pomp,
Really?
the circumstance, the fire breathing, the dragon paraphernalia, it all is very cool. But in this match, I got to give him props because there's a lot to like about this match, which I wasn't really looking forward to if I just read the highlight.
Austin actually said this is one of his best angles, one of his best opponents that he's ever worked with. And as a kid, I was a Ricky Steamboat fan because he was always a great worker. He put on a legendary match with Macho Man in WrestleMania 3, still talked about to this day. And I think what messed him up is an injury that happened later this year in 94, man, that kind of put him out permanently.
Incredible job in this match. Couple of times he delivers like these crazy like Ryu from Street Fighter chest chops that come up from like the ground where it seems like he's like digging into you with it's like a Bruce Lee fucking thing. I love when he gets Austin hung up on the ropes and just starts beating the shit out of him near the beginning of the match too. It's very like not good guy thing. It was like an evil move.
He even does the Undertaker walking on the top rope.
I like that Bobby the Brain also calls him the human Bick just to give a little shade to him right before the match starts. That was great. But this is a great match. It's long. Like you said, both these guys are killing it. And this, I get why Steve Austin says that because they went above and beyond. Like there's matches where both of these guys probably had, like are better than the opponent. But I feel like here it's pretty equal. And they both get a chance to showboat a little bit. For real.
The reversal of the pile drivers, it was like one failed pile driver led to another one that failed and led to another, and they did that like 4 or 5 times, man. And did you catch when Austin was mocking Steamboat where he was like,
yeah, the fake Tai Chi? There was a lot of that. He kept doing, so he's like, hey Ricky, he would look at the TV or like the cameras and stuff too. That's why I said you kind of see the Austin from WWF in this because like right at the beginning of the match, like Steamboat's like centering his chi in the corner with his back turned and Austin just starts going and whooping on him like from behind. Sometimes you look at the match and you're like, it's 30 minutes. It's probably going to be a snoozer, but that's not the case in this. Multiple crazy reversals. The pile driver one, there was other like ones where they reversed each other like 5 times in a row. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I also like Austin being kind of like the shitty villain with the belt. At the end of this, it's going back and forth, and then he starts trying to get DQ'd so he could just keep the belt.
yeah.
I like that too. I like the shitty villain role that he plays in this.
And Austin, he eventually does get the pin, but it's because he had his legs sitting on the rope, and nobody cared to review that or anything.
There's no replays, Steve. This is 94.
It's very true.
That's like the day one villain move that they teach you. It's like grab the ropes for leverage or put your foot ups on the rope for leverage when you pin. So still champ, Steve. United States champion, stunning Steve Austin.
I'm here for it.
God bless America.
And Mean Gene finds his way to this celebration party. And Bunkhouse Bunk, it reminds me of Dewey Cox when Tim Meadows was like, you don't want no part of this. We're smoking reefers. And then fast forward, he's like, you don't want any part of this. We're doing cocaine. That's what Bunkhouse Buck does. He's like, we don't want any part of this. We're smoking cigars, drinking beer, and drinking champagne. And
I mean,
Arn,
they're
he
getting rowdy, Steve. This
yeah.
looks like an arrest waiting to happen back here, to be honest with you.
And Arn, he's back there with the honeys, just macking. Dude, they're really blowing their whole load on this one mid-card pay-per-view match. Like, it wasn't a championship match. It wasn't for any tournament. Yeah,
I like that they also are like, hey, Dusty, where are you at? Just talking shit. They're covered in champagne. I think they're drinking beer out of champagne glasses, which I love too. That's very white trash.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Steve, it's a party, and it looks like that party. If I know '90s wrestlers, it's gonna get a lot crazier than what we're seeing there. Mean Gene looks really uncomfortable.
And when Arn is talking to Mean Gene, I could tell he was not expected to get doused by old duels or whatever the fuck they're drinking. Because he's talking, he's like, "What? I got to be in character." Oh,
He looked pissed.
yeah, he really did.
They like do a zoom in on him. I was like, does he even like being here? He does not. He's right. I mean, that's a nice fucking suit he had, Steve. He's doing a fucking. He's about to go get some puss. He can't be smelling like fucking Natty Light or whatever they're spraying around.
Yeah, and he was G'd up, man. And now we have Pretty Wonderful, Paul Roma and Paul Orndorff versus the tag team champs, Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan, with Dave Sullivan.
Brother Dave Sullivan in attendance, who just looks like Kevin Sullivan stretched out. The Sullivan genes are very fucking strong, Steve, because that's an ugly family. I'm sorry. The Sullivans, there's not a lot of modeling jobs for you guys. But yeah, Steve, I don't like Kevin Sullivan. It's a weird thing. It's a weird vibe.
I never understood it. Like, apparently he's one of the best like minds behind, like, because he did some booking for WCW for a while, man. But I just couldn't see somebody being like, man, you know what this roster needs right now? A 5'9" leprechaun.
I want a guy who looks like a penis with hair, with Hulk Hogan hair. And if he can make weird demon noises while he's moving around, that's even better. It's shocking, honestly. But again, I don't get it. But he's in a freak show with Cactus Jack. So here, at least, it makes a little more sense. But it's hilarious to watch Kevin Sullivan try to fight Paul Roma and Paul Orndorff, who are two jacked fucking giant dudes.
To the nines. Paul Roma seems like the Mitty Greens of wrestling.
Can
Just
I ask what happened to him? Like, what happened to Paul Roma? Because looking at him, Paul Orndorff, I've seen, he was a legend. He's kind of like an old school dude. But Paul Roma, like, if he could have just gotten some kind of a good character that wasn't just Guido, jacked Guido, I think he could have done something. But I don't remember him from anything else.
he burned some bridges.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense then.
Ego, man, it kills a lot of shit. I got to say this too, man. This is right after Mick Foley had his ear messed up in that match with Vader in Japan. And he had an option to either get his ear worked on at the doctor or have this tag team match. And obviously, we know what option he took.
I mean, that just knowing Mick Foley, that's the obvious choice, you know. At my ear, I don't need that.
Put that shit on ice.
That shit's slowing me down a little bit. This is good for wind reduction or whatever. So he's more aerodynamic at this point, Steve. His ear's kind of hanging off. I like at the beginning of this also bringing the point of like the comparison of Kevin Sullivan to these other guys. Paul Orndorff gets in the ring with Kevin Sullivan, and for a lot of it, he's like, he does the Steven Regal thing where he's like, get this little fucking thing.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, dude. You smell like French fries and shit. You fucking eat a Happy Meal?
Yeah, they smell like boogers. And I noticed there were some empty seats during this match. It even got to the point where the fans started doing the wave.
Yeah. The announcers are so bored. They're like, waves coming in, and Bobby Heenan's like, yeah, they're just catching on to this trend 30 years later or whatever.
Right.
Also, Kevin Sullivan, if you remember the movie Thinner where the guy gets like cursed by the gypsy guy, I think Kevin Sullivan did this, got cursed by the same gypsy guy, but it was just like ugly. Just he never grew out of this. Is he alive?
He actually just passed, man. So R.I.P. to Kevin. I respect all these guys to a certain extent. Like if you ever laced up, you got some of my respect at least, man. What you do from that point, like that's on you. But yeah. I just never was a Kevin Sullivan fan. There's a part where Roma, he started off looking cool because he ran up the turnbuckle a certain way that I've never seen a wrestler do, but he then proceeded to look like a jackass when he slipped down the turnbuckles.
There are a couple foibles on the Pretty Wonderful side that were hilarious because Paul Orndorff also tries to pull off like this. It's almost like that Road Dogg move, the shimmy, the shake, rattle, and roll thing, but it's
looks so
just
odd.
fucked up, Steve. He looks like he's having a seizure.
He looks
There's
like
no shake or roll. It's just all rattle. He's just like
yeah, like why, Paul? Why?
Yeah. It's not a terrible match given the talent in it. Mick Foley's really pulling his weight as always. The Pretty Wonderful sides, they're the technical guys. They're these guys that are wrestlers. And these other guys, obviously, they're the freak show that just come out and bite you in the head. And I like, at the beginning when they're kind of selling, like the announcers are talking about that, Mick Foley gets in the ring and Paul Orndorff just like pushes him off or does something and Mick Foley falls up and gets down and looks over like kind of close to the camera and is like, man, this guy's good. He just like gives him props in the middle of the match just for just a quick minute. Cactus Jack, if I remember correctly, does his little double DDT. We get that.
Yeah.
Which I do think is a pretty cool move. I don't think he gets enough credit for that.
That always looked kick-ass, man. But the ref is distracted this time. And now, once the ref does turn around, Roma, he's outside doing some meddling, and he just grabs Cactus Jack's legs and holds on to him so that Orndorff can get the pin. And Pretty Wonderful are the new tag team champs.
Pretty Wonderful. I don't think it lasted too long, Steve. I don't remember the perennial tag team champions Pretty Wonderful. So,
another thing with Paul Roma, his character always was based around his look. Just like that tag team he had with Hercules, Power and Glory. Like Hercules was the power and he's the glory because I'm the handsome Guido.
My mother put roids in my ass. Typical New York roid freak. With the Guido, like straight slick back hair and stuff, it is a very model Rick Martel personality. I guess he burned some bridges, Steve.
Up next is the main event. And Heenan's already saying, if Hogan wins, it's a fluke. I'm not buying this shit.
Fake news. He paid somebody off. But, dude, everybody's here for Hogan, Steve. Shaq's here.
Mr. T.
Mr. T's fucking here, Steve. Mr. fucking T came out. Just for the kids, Howard.
Yeah,
kids.
Don't talk about the kids, Howard.
Hank Aaron's in attendance. Hulk has a Hulk phone too, Stevie. They mentions later on. He had somebody else on the Hulkaphone, Hulk line or whatever.
The Hulkaphone.
The Hulkamania phone. But this is it, Steve. This is it. It's WCW finally nailed it. Got him. They got the Shaq of wrestling, Steve.
The big find. The WCW commissioner, Nick Bockwinkel, was introduced. And Bobby's like, is that Bockwinkel or Lloyd Bridges?
And then Tony Schiavone's like, I'm sure they're going to bring that tape up in your next negotiation, brain.
Yeah.
Talking about the boss like that.
I love how they treat these like real jobs.
Yeah, I know, right? And I just like that the brain's still just like, yeah, great, Hogan's here. I've seen this movie before. It sucks.
And Shaq comes out to a huge pop. The first person that comes out, which typically is supposed to be the non-champion, is Ric Flair with Sensuous Sherry.
Looking so sensuous, Steve.
Very.
Wearing white, but I don't think she's a virgin anymore, if you know what I'm talking about.
Somebody hit it. And up next is Hogan with Jimmy Hart and Mr. T.
We talk about them Hulkamaniacs. Why is Mr. T here, Steve? Is it like, what the hell? Is he just the bodyguard of Hulk for when he just got to WCW because of all the haters?
Well, they have a history, man. They go back to WrestleMania 1, where Hogan and Mr. T were teammates. And just the day before that, they hosted SNL together.
The world's waiting. The world's here. They're waiting for these legends to collide. They keep saying it's the first time they've ever fought, Steve, and that's bullshit.
Well, on television, they've had dark matches before. When Ric Flair was in WWF, they had a dark match, and they wanted to push that angle because these were the two faces of their respective companies. But it just, from that dark match, they could tell the chemistry was off. So they just decided not to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they were in like Royal Rumbles together too. So there's video of these guys fighting, but they're making a huge deal of it. It's vintage of both these guys. Flair's fighting style is scumbag. You know, he'll pull Sherry in front of him to block a couple of shots. You know, a little human shield action with a lady. That's not cool.
Extra scummy.
Yeah, with an extra set of scum.
That's how I like my
Uh,
heels.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's just, and then that's another day one move for a heel, Steve. Pull a lady in front of you to not get hit.
Oh, he's really a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, kick a baby if you want to take it one extra step. But yeah, I like this. It's got all the stuff that you would expect. Hogan missing a leg drop and that being almost as if he's dead. He
Yeah.
misses that leg drop. He's out for a good 20 minutes, Steve. He's got to recover.
Like he got shot in the ass. But everybody's doing their routine. There's always got to be the Ric Flair getting thrown into the turnbuckle and he does the flip. That has to be a thing. You know, you got to get a Hogan Hulk up. There were like 7 Hogan Hulk ups where I
Yeah.
thought this is the one. Like, no, I guess no. Sherry is going to be an interference. Shout out to Sherry. She was one of the first ladies to actually take bumps from the guys.
And she's
Like,
taking some bumps. So she does a couple of top rope drops too, if I'm not mistaken, Steve.
yeah, man. So she's a legend in so many different ways. This was years before Lita, before China. I feel like she was the first, or the first that I know of to do this, man. Flair, one of the times Hogan's down, he goes for his figure 4, but Hogan reverses it. And eventually Hogan gets his big boot off. But this time Sherry distracts the ref. She pulls the ref out.
Knocks his ass out too, Steve. And that's not a DQ, not in this match. They just bring in a replacement ref.
Yeah.
You know, they got a couple of guys, understudies that they bring out. Doesn't Hulk put Ric Flair in a figure 4 too, which is pretty unheard of for Hulk Hogan?
Very unheard of. He eventually puts him in the figure 4, and I think somehow Flair broke out. Maybe he got his hand on the rope,
I
but
think Sherry might have like fucked it up in some way too. But yeah, Sherry's like very involved in this match.
the double clothesline was crazy too. Like I think it was because of Sherry's positioning. You're supposed to go one with one arm, the other arm, yeah. But like the way she was standing, he basically clotheslined Ric Flair and just punched Sherry in the face.
It was like a modified smush almost. It was like a punch, but there was no, it was all hip movement because his arm was like fully extended. So he was just like, eh. But she took it, Steve. She went down. She knew what the assignment was. Also, Hulk Hogan fucking up a lot for this legendary dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like if you got LeBron, he just kept getting intercepted for like these passes and stuff.
And Sherry, she gets so involved to the point where Mr. T's like, you know what? I'm just going to take her out the picture. He just carries her off.
She wants to taste of real man. Yeah.
Flair, he's got them brass knucks. He tucks them under. He's had them the whole time, just like Jerry Lawler, just tucked underneath the ball sack. And he hits Hogan, but when he goes for the pin, Hogan kicks out because it's time for the Hulk up, brother.
Hulk up version 9.0, because this is at this point is like the 10th Hulk up, which is just him eating the fuck out of a brass knuck shot, getting up, very animated finger wagging, and then we get the final, the whole kit and caboodle, the big boot, the leg drop, and then we get that shitty ass theme song, Steve.
He's American man.
Oh, but he did it, Steve. He's come. He's conquered the WCW. He's the champ. There's only one world champ now. There's only one.
The Hulkster.
Fuck the haters, Steve. They said it couldn't happen.
Mr. T comes from the back. I don't know. Maybe he tied up Sherry for later. And Shaq comes in and they all celebrate. Heenan is distraught.
I can't believe this. I mean, Steve, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Him and fucking Ric Flair were going to go get a couple of hookers, have a party, just, you know, do some lines off the belt, just like always. That's all gone. Sherry's all fucked up, so she can't even party either.
As Hogan is making his way to the dressing room, I guess he needs to go to the conference room so he can be properly interviewed. and it's the room is apparently filled with dignitaries. They kept using that term. It's like, dude, all I see is Duggan, Brian Pillman, and
Brother Brutai's in there, Steve.
Brother Brutai and Hammer and Hank. And if those are the dignitaries, then I'll be John Brown.
I like how when Hogan sees Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's like, "Oh, the hack is back! Look at this guy, slim as hell." It's just like two buddies that haven't seen each other in a while.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. He's just taking a victory lap backstage, Steve. He's the champ now. Daddy's home, and all of his buddies are here to hang out. Brother Brutai, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Just hanging out, dude.
You're not even on contract. But I love it, man. This is early 90s Hogan, and Hulkamania is still alive and well. It's just, it's not the same as when he was with Vince, man.
Yeah. Oh, also, just to reiterate something I mentioned earlier, Hulk did have a Hulkaphone, and the guy he had on the other end that night, George Foreman, Steve.
On the
Heavyweight.
Hulkaphone.
He was on the Hulkaphone, Steve.
In 1996, Kazam premieres. A troubled kid inadvertently releases a genie who must grant him any 3 wishes he requests. Directed by Paul Michael Glazer, starring Shaquille O'Neal, Francis Capra, Ali Walker, and James Atkinson.
Shaq, it can't all be championship level stuff, Steve.
Speaking of Shaq, July 17th was kind to the man.
Make him shit, make him shiver. This isn't the worst thing he's ever made, though, movie-wise. Steel, way worse than this. And this has the scene that, as a fat kid, I wanted to happen to me, is just having a genie make it rain candy, which is also, weirdly enough, a pedophile's dream as well. But
I can make it rain candy.
Shaq's my genie. What?
The rapping was so god awful. Like, there was one scene where Shaq and the little kid are trading bars, and what is really going on? The movie is all over the place, and I think both of us, we love Shaq, man, but there are so many things to not like. I think it outweighs the things to like. The main villain, looked like a short porn director. So let's start there. I really hated this guy. And maybe that's a good thing to be a villain. Like, you want to see this guy get his comeuppance.
Yeah, but you also want him to be like intimidating and not look like some guy that just trying to get some residual porn checks or something. He just looks gross.
A little greasy bastard.
Yeah, it's not Shaq's finest, but this speaks to how big Shaq was, because you don't just get to head a movie if you're some schlub, Steve. This is left for the guys like a Hulk Hogan, people that aren't actors but are so big in pop culture. They're like, you know what? We're going to throw $10 million, $15 million. And sure, it's going to be you dressed up like a genie, but it's going to be all over the place. So God bless.
I feel like the person is funnier than the character. Like, if they would have gave him Jim Carrey or Robin Williams treatment, where they allowed him to be himself in some scenes, like, because Shaq is one of the funniest guys in all of sports ever. So, like, if they would have just let him freestyle, but at the time in 96, maybe he didn't have that personality as like that, like he does now. You know, unless you watch sports, I knew he was a funny guy.
He had personality where other basketball players had. I mean, Michael Jordan had some personality, but Shaq actually had, like, you know, it wasn't just like a professional, like, we're going to do what we need to do and we're going to win and blah, 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 blah. He's just like a funny dude. So a movie about a genie, it's already been covered. And Kazam, I don't even know how many genie movies have come out, Steve. Aladdin animated. And I'll even put Aladdin with Will Smith probably above this.
The only genie I acknowledge is Barbara Eden.
We both dream of her.
Yeah. Also in 1996, Multiplicity premieres. A family man who never has enough time for the things he wants to do takes advantage of the opportunity to have himself cloned. Directed by Harold Ramis, starring Michael Keaton, Andy McDowell, Harris Yulin, and Richard Masur.
You didn't like this?
I fucking hated this shit. God damn it, it was garbage.
It's not like an exciting movie, but it's got like some heart, Steve.
It's got Michael Keaton and
Yeah.
your boy Richard Ben Roethlisberger Masur.
I just shows Steve that you got to put the effort in. There's no shortcuts. If you clone yourself, eventually you're gonna have a clone that's fucking up your life.
Michael Keaton, everybody needs a check from time to time, but damn it, you made more Michael Keaton's. And you know what? It's true. There's too much of a good thing. Michael Keaton is awesome human being, but like this movie, it just did not hit for me.
If you want a heartfelt Michael Keaton movie, Mr. Mom. This one is below that. I don't hate it like you do, but it's a mid movie. And it gets like really not annoying, but it just kind of gets it is repetitive because it's just a bunch of Michael Keatons talking to each other. But when it starts involving the dumb one, like number 4 or whatever,
Yeah,
I checked out. I tried to get through all of it, and I got to be honest with you, Steve, I didn't. I stopped.
see, it was hard. I put in the work to make it through, and it's just like, damn it, can I get that time back?
But it's Keaton, so you don't want to hate it.
You don't want to.
It's like a bad Keaton movie is still better than a bad, like just a shitty movie. You know what I mean? Like there's some to like about it, and it's a good idea where it's like, yeah, dude, if I could just clone myself and get all my work done and just chill and party while they were doing all the work, oh, that would probably be cool. And then like flipping that on its head and it's not cool and it's
Right.
problematic. Good idea. It's just not what you would want quality wise from a Harold Ramis, Michael Keaton joint.
Exactly. You know, it sounds good on paper. In 1998, Family Matters is airing Season 9, Episode 22, Lost in Space, Part 2. A wayward satellite hits Urkel spacecraft, and Meter-maid duty turns dangerous.
Eddie, Harriet too's worried about you. This is crazy that this is the last episode of the show, Steve. I don't feel like this was, if it doesn't feel like a planned finale necessarily. No. There's a lot of epic stuff happening in it. I did not watch part 1 of this 2-parter, but I did obviously catch the recap. So we do see NASA. NASA just picks a nerd to go up in the space shuttle. Very Challenger-esque, which I feel like you should have learned from that. It's always problematic to have a non-astronaut in a space mission, but Urkel's going to space, Steve.
The first student in space.
You better be getting a PhD soon, son.
We see the recap. Eddie, he gets a bulletproof vest from Carl because he wants to be a cop like his dad. And we see that Harriet, she's not feeling this. So she does some meddling. And then we carry on to Steve and Laura. And Laura asks Steve to make a promise. No matter what happens, you'll find a way to come back home.
Come back to me, baby. Come back. It's a Keith Sweat song, Steve. Catch up, everybody. Keith Sweat. So Steve actually gets to space, Steve.
They're out there.
He goes there, but doesn't a satellite just slam into that shit?
Yeah, and they tried to avoid it, but it was bound to happen.
And wasn't it because of a machine that Steve invented? There was some machine, but that's what I didn't really clock. There's something called like the AGF 5000 that I think Steve invented that's part of this mission someplace. So I think he's actually responsible for the satellite getting off course and slamming into the spaceship, Steve.
Like Urkel does, man. And I love the CGI Explorer. It looks like a old school screensaver.
It looks like that. Remember that cartoon that was in the 90s called Reboot that was all CGI, but it was really blocky CGI? It looks like that.
Yeah. For the first time, it was cutting edge, though.
Yeah, I know. For at the time, I was like, this is insane. This is what the future is going to look like. This is the inside of a computer.
Steve is on the ship with 2 other guys who are supposed to be the experts, but eventually they get knocked out from a headbutt while floating.
Yes, and they're also bitching at Steve the whole time. They're like, hey, stay on the sidelines, fucking shed. They got like that kind of energy to them where it's like, you guys brought me up here. So he's just kind of sitting there. They get knocked out, and Steve's left in like a basically Apollo 13 situation where his life's on the line. These astronauts' lives are on the line, and he's the only person confident or conscious and able to do whatever needs to be done for this. But kind of a fucked up situation to be putting a quote unquote student, Steve. It's a big ask. So we hear Steve working with Mission Control on that. We cut to the Winslows because Laura's obviously like, this is news. So she's basically watching all this unfold on TV. no ability to talk to Steve. So she's like everybody else, like, what the fuck's going on? Freaking out.
She's a nervous wreck.
Yeah,
And
dude. It's her man, Steve.
no one knows the condition of the people on the spacecraft. Carl comes home and he's kind of like, yeah, Steve, I heard about that shit. Anyway, Harriet, I need to talk to you. So Eddie, he was upset about being reassigned to Meter-maid. And I found out it's because you requested it. Harriet's like, well, I was worried about Eddie and I wanted to protect him. Carl's like, I asked the lieutenant to reassign him and fix it. So tomorrow, Eddie's going to be walking the beat. And Harriet, too, she's like, well, if that's the case, you'll be walking to this couch to sleep, motherfucker.
But he is like, yo, like, it's really fucked up what you did, because you're not only like embarrassing him because his mom had to call into his boss to get him reassigned. That's very lame for a new guy, but also you're fucking up his career. So there's a little friction there. Obviously, Harriet's playing the I'm not going to give up this pussy if you don't listen to what I say move, which is pretty much that's the first lesson women learn, Steve. And at least Harriet. Harriet 2 is playing that card.
Nice cleanup.
Yeah, exactly. So we cut back to space. Now Steve's problem solving the spinning thing, and the mission control's like, I know this is a bad spot we're in. The astronauts are knocked out, but pretty simple 300 and some step process here to get the spaceship just to stop spinning out of control. This is where they just have to shoot like the thrusters, Steve, to slow down the spin. So Steve does this because he's a genius, Steve. What nobody realizes, these people at NASA don't realize, they're talking to maybe the future like scientist of NASA.
I mean, there's Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Buzz Lightyear, Steve Urkel.
And Buzz Lightyear and Steve Urkel, that's 3 and 3. That's a tiebreaker.
Eddie pulling up in his parking cart, painting the back of tires, and he's about to give this lady a parking ticket. And she's like, why don't you meter maids give a person a break? It's like, look, lady, I'm not a meter maid. I'm an actual cop. And then he hears gunshots right after that. So now Eddie's in a shootout all of a sudden. He finds the guy, and the guy shoots him. Like,
he gets shot, Steve.
He never thought to pull the trigger. Like, the dude is shooting at you, bro. Shoot back.
Eddie, luckily, Steve, Carl gave him that lucky vest that saved Carl's life. So now this vest, whatever juju's in this stuff, saved 2 generations of Winslow's. He took a shot, and he even managed to arrest the dude, Steve. He takes a bullet, guy's out of bullets, he gets up and fucking arrests the guy.
Insane, man.
Super cop.
Back at the Winslow's, Carl's like, the vest saved my life and my son's life. You know what, Harriet? You interfered. Your child is a man now. He can make his own decisions. Eddie even chimes in like, look, Ma, just stepping outside is taking a risk. We live in Chicago. When I signed on, I wanted to protect people. I've learned from a very smart and experienced department. I have everything it takes to be a great cop, except for one thing, your support.
Your support, Mom. So that kind of gets through, Steve. Harriet 2, tough cookie. Little softer than Harriet 1, I'd say.
A little softer. I always wanted to bang Gina's mom.
Yeah, she is pretty hot. So she's like, okay, respect, but just be careful.
While they're watching the coverage, Myra shows up because she wants to watch it with the Winslows. On the news, like Steve's fiance called, and she wanted to also show her picture. It's a picture of Myra.
Very seductive, Steve.
Very.
It's boudoir photography. And Laura's like, before they show the photo, she's like, wait, I didn't talk to the TV. Who? Fiance? Yeah. That's bullshit. And then Myra's photo comes up and she's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Bye. And she just leaves.
It's good that she made it to the series finale. You know,
yeah,
she would pass away later that year, man. So, all right, Michelle Thomas. She's always been sexy. Now we're at the part where Steve saves Earth.
Everything. Steve, maybe Earth. Definitely NASA's reputation, because now he's up there solo dolo. These other astronauts, they're all fucked up. No contingency plans. He's already stabilized the shuttle, but it can't go back because they got a big ass satellite hanging off the back of this thing. They got to get it dislodged before they can go back to Earth. So Steve's the one that has to go do this. The big wigs are like, the nerds gotta go. Well, that's bullshit. If I die and you call me a nerd is the last thing I'm doing, that's kind of bullshit. Fucking bitching me out.
Yeah.
Trying to save your fucking life.
Yeah, I don't like the treatment Steve gets. He makes it to the satellite. He pulls the satellite off, but now he's floating in space with the satellite, but he needs his tether.
They're like, yeah, you're fine. The tether's gonna just like pull you back as soon as the length it's all gone. And so he's like, tether? So he's just flown, Steve. This is the only thing that I'm terrified of space. You get into one of these situations where they can't get you back.
It can't.
You just float away till you die into infinity.
Steve, being the genius that he is, he finds a way.
He's like holding on to the satellite he dislodged as like a life raft, basically. But then he realizes that there's thrusters on the satellite. So they're like, great, you can use those, but you got like 3 minutes of oxygen left. So time's ticking here, bud. You could still die. So Steve Urkel's the situation. It's a synonym for MacGyver at this point. And he gets the thing to thrust him, towards the space shuttle. And he just catches on, rides that shit like a wave, basically, and gets back to the space shuttle, Steve. This is being watched by the nation, by the world even.
They even have a caption at the bottom of the newscast saying Nerd Watch 98. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Come on. Put some respect on this man's name at this point. He's a grown man. We can say that now.
Yeah, time to bring him home.
So he's going to make it back, Steve. So we don't really see anything past that. We just know he succeeded. But then we go to the credits and we see Steve coming back from this mission and paparazzi's everywhere. CNN, BBC, fucking Telemundo, they're all there. The hitters, 60 Minutes. I could keep going.
BBC? What does Big Black have to do? No.
Hey-o. So he's famous, right? He gets in. Even Carl's like, man, I've been just bragging about you. You're my new son-in-law. I want everybody to know. And this is very not Carl Winslow, Steve.
Welcome home, son. You know what? This reminds me of Fresh Prince, where things are coming full circle. You know, Will and Uncle Phil at the very beginning, they had this issue. They were, butting heads. And it's the same issue with Steve and Carl, man. Like, Carl had told this guy to go home, go home, go home so many times. And now, not only is he allowing him in his home, he's happy to have him in his family to the point where he's bragging about it. So I do appreciate this finale for that, and of course, Laura, that's another like full circle situation, man. After turning this man down all these seasons, 9 years straight, she comes out and Steve's like, you get more beautiful every time I see you.
You're my star. My beautiful star. And it's very cheesy, but she makes him promise one more thing, Steve. Don't ever go back to space.
Only when we kiss, Laura Lee. Only when we kiss.
That's it, Steve.
That's wow. I can't believe it, man.
End of an era.
Yeah, it really was. Like, who would have thought in the early stages of this show that any of this is how it would end?
It only took how many seasons for Steve Urkel to get the respect of Carl Winslow and the pussy of Laura Winslow? Yeah. And 2 Harriets. Let's not forget. Some sort of weird body thing happened here where time shifted and we got a new Harriet.
Yeah. And she light skinned. Like, that's the thing. They did. Speaking of Fresh Prince, they replaced the dark skinned sister with a light skin. That's how we doing it with sitcoms in the 90s. But
Hollywood. What was going on here, Hollywood?
Conspiracy.
We're here to chat. We're here to just drop the hammer on Hollywood. I think everyone knows they're shitty, Steve. So I think we're a little too late on that.
Light skin for the win. But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or canker sores?
I just gotta give a quick shout out to Rick Moranis, Steve. I don't want anybody to hit him again. I want to see him act again. And I just think that we're getting to a point where, I love that everyone loves the 90s. We're always going to love the 90s. But there's some people that were like, that history is not pushing to these new generations. And I feel like some of these younger people, some of these young guns, some of these young whippersnappers down here, they don't know who Rick Moranis is, and they need to just respect the fucking pimp. You know?
Put some spec on his name.
Exactly. And I was going to ask you a couple of questions, but we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, we went way over, man. All I got is thank you for knowing the technical jargon in the Family Matters episode, the AK-7500 and all of that, like
Yeah.
the thrusters. Like, thank you. You filled those holes. Pause. But please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm every Wednesday with Kendra and our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle, as well as Wrestling with Ronzilla on TikTok. This is Steve G and Mad G with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the flat kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s.